back once again, dear students of the vibrant University of Bohol. Again, I am your teacher in science, Miss Devlin Rose Galioto, and I will be teaching to you today about the nervous system. But before we get to our lessons, let me first state our learning objectives for today. So by the end of this lesson, students will be able to identify the two main parts of the nervous system, be able to explain the difference between voluntary and involuntary actions, and understand how neurons transmit signals in the nervous system. Let's get straight to our topic. So first, what is the nervous system? The nervous system is one of the most important systems in your body because it acts as the control center and communication network, and without it, we cannot perform work. We cannot do anything. It allows you to interact with the world around you and keeps your internal body functions working smoothly. So obviously, we all want to be able to live in this world with joy, and our nervous system is what helps that happen. So let's get more deeper to this topic. So what does the nervous system do in our body? So neurons in your nervous system carry out electrical signals to and from your brain and spinal cord. These signals tell your muscles to move. Here we are, we're moving. And let your brain know when you feel something like hot or cold. And it also keeps all your organs running properly. The nervous system helps different parts of your body work together by sending messages through specialized cells called neurons. So these messages travel quickly like signals moving through wires that's so fast, allowing your body to respond immediately to changes around you. So what are the two main parts of the nervous system? The first part is the central nervous system, or the CNS. It is like the command center of the body. Okay, so the command center. Okay, it processes information and controls all the activities in your body, both involuntary, like moving your hands, clapping your fingers, or like talking, and involuntarily, like breathing. We cannot control our breathing, can we? So the CNS is made out of two main parts. Remember that. The first one is the brain and the second one is the spinal cord. Spinal cord is at your back. That's why it is so very important to keep that place of your back safe, because once that spinal cord is damaged, you'll possibly have a stroke, become motionless, or deadlock, or possibly death, which is very bad, and I wish that not to happen on anybody. So the second part is the peripheral nervous system, or the PNS. So the first part was CNS, now the second part is PNS. It is made up of all the nerves that are outside the CNS, so outside the brain and outside your spinal cord. So these nerves branch out from the brain and spinal cord and reach all parts of your body like a network of telephone lines connecting every area to the main control system, or the main control center. If you look at the anatomy, you'll be surprised how there are so many nerves. It's like wires connected together from the spinal cord and the brain. It just branches out throughout your whole body. And the PNS connects your body to the CNS. So this is the PNS, this is CNS, connects. And it plays a crucial role in sending and receiving signals, of course. So in the central nervous system, let us talk about the brain. In case you didn't know what the brain is the control center of the entire body. This is so important, y'all. This part in here, it's so important because it is the control center. Again, without it, we can't do anything. Nothing. And it possesses sensory information, thoughts, emotions, and controls body functions like movement. Without my brain today, I wouldn't be able to talk to you and discuss to you what the nervous system is. The second thing in the central nervous system, or the CNS, is the spinal cord. So the spinal cord acts as a highway. Again, a highway is huge and it is long. So it acts as a highway for information traveling between the brain and the body. So from the brain to the spinal cord to the body. So it sends instructions from the brain to the body and carries sensory information back to the brain. It also coordinates reflexes, which are fast, automatic responses to stimuli. The PNS has two divisions. The first one is the somatic. Again, remember that, somatic nervous system. And it controls voluntary. Again, what were the voluntary movements? It was like our hands moving, right? Movements of the muscles and send sensory information to the CNS. The next one is the autonomic nervous system. And it regulates involuntary functions like heart rate, breathing, and also digestion. We cannot control digestion, right? And that is what you call involuntary, and that belongs to autonomic nervous system. So inside the autonomic system, it has two parts. It is divided into two parts. The first one is the sympathetic nervous system. So the sympathetic nervous system prepares the body for stressful or emergency situations, also known as the fight or flight response. Again, remember those words, fight or flight response, and that belongs to sympathetic. It also increases heart rate, widens airways, and slows down digestion to give the body more energy and focus in dangerous or stressful moments. The next part is the parasympathetic. So the first part was sympathetic. The second part would be parasympathetic nervous system. So this helps the body relax and recover after stress. So of course, something happens. Of course, the body will also try to make your body relax after the stress. This is called the rest and digest response. Again, the first one was fight or flight. The next one would be rest and digest. And it slows down the heart rate, promotes digestion, and helps the body conserves energy. We're almost to the end, everybody. But before we end, we need to know the key functions of the nervous system. So first, we have here the sensory afferent neurons, or this is the input. So the nervous system collects information. So it collects from the external environment through sensory receptors, for example, your skin, eyes, and ears. For example, if you touch something hot, sensory nerves send a signal to the brain. And then, what would you feel? You feel pain. So, the next one is the motor efferent neurons, or this is like the output. So, the nervous system sends signals to the muscle or glands to make the body respond, like what I said a while ago. So, your body would respond, okay, that's painful. I touch a hot thing. What would you respond? It's hot. So, there's an input, there's also an output. The third one is the interneurons. These are the nerves within our CNS. So again, our CNS, it consists of the brain and our spinal cord. It connects the sensory and motor neurons. So the sensory, the afferent, the input, the motor, the efferent, it is the output. The interneurons connect both of those neurons within the CNS. So it processes and integrates information, immediate reflexes, and complex responses. So let's talk about the summary and the importance of the nervous system. So the nervous system is essential for coordinating everything the body does, from thinking, feeling, to moving, and reacting. and it keeps the body in balance or in homeostasis, which we'll be talking about in the next few minutes. Key takeaway: without the nervous system, we couldn't move, we couldn't feel, think, or function properly. It's the control and communication system that keeps everything working together. Okay, so in order to achieve homeostasis, our body, the homeostasis, again, it is like the balance in your body. It is to maintain balance. Because without balance, our body will become very, very vulnerable in this environment. So let's talk about negative feedback and positive feedback. So negative feedback is, for example, there's a variable here. Something triggers it, but then the negative feedback counteracts it in response in order to come back to some set point. So what happens? Everything becomes normal again. Simple example for the negative feedback is when you're too hot. Imagine you're too hot. And then the brain signals sweat glands to cool you down. So instead of your body getting hotter, your body sends a signal to sweat in order for your body to cool down. That's counteract response. So positive feedback is when instead of getting a counteracting response to some variable, we instead intensify the variable. So positive feedback is more like more, I want more, I'm gonna do more. Instead of, okay, let's counter-react this, guys, let's counteract this. An example for this is a child labor or childbirth. So there's these things like contractions, right? So the brain releases oxytocin, causing stronger contractions. This cycle continues until the baby is born. So that's all for today, and I hope you learn a lot of things in this lesson. Again, I am your teacher, Miss Devlin Rose Caliogo, and I'm so very happy to be able to teach each one of you about what I know in this topic, the nervous system. Thank you and goodbye!